All right. I don't know if we're live. We might be, we might not be. If we are, we'd like to welcome all our viewers back. The Trojans are leading here 6-4, 2:24 in, and I think we might possibly be live. It might work. No promises, but 6-4, here we are. We are live, so thank you for joining us once again here. Annalee ball here. It has been a low-scoring, intense affair. Trojans have played really good defense, and you see that so far with Jack Anderson. Nice play there. Senior night for the Trojans. Anderson already has a 3 for the Trojans. They've gotten the rest of their points at the line, and both teams have struggled to go inside or get much there. J.J. Fain has been totally shut out so far for the Tigers, who's the leading scorer on Annalee with 15.3 points per game. Under 2 left to go here. Packed student section here as the pull-up is good from Fain. Those are his first points of the game there. And we talked about in the open, Jamie, J.J. Fain is a extremely talented player.
Oh, he's the one with the mask on.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes it easier.
Well, I don't know. It's often very discomforting to have it there, and it can bother a lot of people. Anderson is really feeling it here on a senior night candidate. Somehow Gottschall took it away. The Tigers have been a little bit sloppy with the ball in the backcourt so far this evening.
I meant easier for me to identify him, but thank you.
O'Neal, what a move to get inside. Holmes spinning. There's not a lot of room there. Wolverton traffic, and there's just been too much traffic inside right now for the Trojans. The ball movement hasn't been as superb as you'd like, and they haven't been able to finish on a 3-game losing streak, not with a lot of confidence, especially offensively, but so far defensively they have been superb tonight as Holmes takes it in and is fouled, and he's going to head to the line for 2. Again, we'd like to apologies for all our technical issues tonight, but we do believe that we are now live, and we should not, fingers crossed, Jamie.
That is good. We should not go down.
This should not go down.
This is the last home game. This is our night.
Yeah, can't explain what's been going on the Wi-Fi of late, and we will have at least one more live stream for the Varsity girls basketball team, but hopefully we'll resolve it by then. First free throw off the mark here from Holmes here, and Cole Powers, the first junior, will enter for the first time, and that's a really big story, I think, in this one, Jamie. Powers, what a game he had again on 2 weeks ago against Pioneer. The Trojans fell short in that game that ended their SCL title hopes, but he played really well after he was called up from JV after Whitaker Ellis out for the season.
Yeah. Oh, Whitaker is out for the season.
Yep. Broken collarbone. So Powers called up from JV, put 8 points up against Pioneer, and boy, has he been good of late. There is a 12-second differential shot clock and game clock, with the Trojans leading by 1 point here in a very low-scoring affair. Thank you for joining us. Fain, he really carries the Trojan offense. Offensive board, great pass inside. Holmes, it looked like a block, but they call a foul. Heard a lot of ball there, but foul is called. Third team foul here on the Trojans. Both teams with 3 team fouls. It's been pretty loosely called here in this first quarter. It is Quinn Vermeulen, the junior guard, 5'10", that will head to the line. Vermeulen.
Oh, and he makes the free throw.
Vermeulen, a junior, and 5'10". Big guard, a lot of size on the Tigers, and they graduated 10 seniors from last year, so really tough. They haven't had a lot of experience, went through some growing pains. They lost their first 8 games of the season, but we mentioned they have beaten Sonoma Valley both times. The Trojans' last SCO game was a blowout loss in Sonoma. They fell 60-40 to the Dragons, which the Trojans have had some issues with this season, both on the court and off the court. Shot clock turned off here with Annalee leading by 1 point. Trojans have continued to struggle here in this first quarter.
5 seconds left.
After on a 3-game losing streak, Fain lost it. It goes right into Principal David Sturt's hands, and it will be Trojan ball with 0.9 seconds left. Trojans coming off a blowout loss to a strong Montgomery team on Saturday. That shot will count if it goes, but it does not fall, and that is the end of one here, Jamie. Apologize if you guys did miss that. Trojans look, I think, a little nervous and tentative in that one.
Definitely. I think that if they just kind of have a moment to call themselves and just kind of collect themselves, that they will be able to pull through and get an L.
we will.
I mean, a win.
We'll see the cheerleaders again in performance. There certainly is a lot of spirit here. It is a really great atmosphere for this senior night, isn't it?
It is. We have the cheerleaders. We have everybody wearing pink because pink is our senior color. It is a very bright. It's very bright. All the cheerleaders are making a beautiful show. There are a couple of senior cheerleaders, as I have heard.
They're honored as well. The full senior ceremony before the game. All 8 seniors. We'll go through them now. Robert Holmes, Teddy Critchett, Brendan O'Neill, Justin Wolbert, Devin Gottschall, Whitaker Ellis, Trey Davis, and Jack Anderson, all 8. I got to know. I read the sides up that I put up there because there are way too many seniors on this team. They have meant so much to these Trojans. It's been so vital. Can't even go through all of them. There's too many. They're going to dearly miss them. And there was a lot of promise going into this season. In the end, they've come up short. We're hoping for their first SCL title since 1993, but had that really tough loss to Healdsburg, 49-48. Healdsburg, with a win tonight, will close out the SCL title. Or I'm sorry, a win on Friday night will close out the SCL title. They're playing the Trojans, or a Piner loss tonight. Healdsburg with a 1-game lead, but the Trojans blew a 13-point lead in that game and a 7-point lead with 1:30 left, and they've really never been the same since that Greyhounds loss. Have really struggled. Their only wins since that Healdsburg loss to El Bolito and Elsie, the bottom feeders in this league. Trojans did beat Annalee 42-40 up at Sebastopol, their first win there in 10 years, but Annalee is showing some good poise here at a rowdy gym. Quinn Vermeulen with another bucket. Good ball movement inside, and the Tigers are no doubt not scared of this press or this size by the Trojans that is big, aggressive, and not easy to play against.
Yes, definitely. This is making some good plays. I think that the Trojans will be able to pull back up and keep it tight and then be able to pull back into the lead.
Holmes lost it. It's off a Manley ball here. Power's the only junior out here. Now Izetta's going to enter. Holmes out. And Coach Bears is going to try to play more of his seniors. I don't know how long you want Critchett in there, considering not one of the mainstays. You don't want to go too outside of your lineup because this game is so important for the Trojans. If they win, they will guarantee a spot in the SCL tournament. And assuming that Sonoma loses when they play Piner on Friday, the Trojans would get a 3 seed, and they'd much prefer to play on the road at Piner in that semifinal game, as they'll stay Annalee ball. Much prefer to play Piner in that game than to play Healdsburg in the FCL tournament semifinal. If they lose, then they might need to win against Healdsburg on Friday at the Greyhounds, which is going to be nearly impossible considering that's going to be their potential SCL title clinching, and the Trojans just have not played nearly as good as they played on that Wednesday night loss to the Greyhounds. As the 3 ball is good. J.J. Fades showing why he's one of the stars in this league. 15 points per game at a slow first quarter, but the lead has been extended to 6 due to Fade's outstanding play. Gottschall's blocked, offensive board Critchett. Critchett's not much of a finisher, though, inside, and he can't finish.
All right.
Yeah, it's just interesting by Coach Bears, the lineup, and obviously trying to get the seniors out and playing time, but how do you balance that with wanting to win this game, too, considering it's so important?
That is very true, but I do think that it's an important game for the seniors because it is their last home game. And if they do win, then they will be able to move on to SCLs. They have the chance.
Right. Well, what do you value more?
And that is true because these seniors have been very important for balancing
the
difference.
Will be Annalee ball here. Trojan offense has really struggled throughout. Defensively, they were strong in that first quarter. Annalee didn't have a lot to go here. But, boy, have the Tigers found some holes, some great cuts, some great inbounds plays. They've looked at a great rhythm. Wiseman with the little jumper there. And Annalee looks far more energized out there, which has been an issue for the Trojans off the knee there of Fane. But the Tigers are playing with a lot more energy right now. Jamie?
Yes.
Tigers play with a lot more energy right now.
I do agree. They do have a lot of energy. They're kind of they're going pretty fast. They're bouncing around, but the Trojans are still taking shots.
Dan, the man, wondering why high school plays zone defense as we see a foul here, and it's sort of just the way it's been in high school, especially in the boys' game. if your team can work right and you have good chemistry, it really can be very challenging to score, and you could really stop all those gaps and not allow any entrance to the paint. The girls' basketball team has perfected that. And the boys' team has really done a good job defensively all season long. They've only given up 48 points per game, but of late, their defense has been a little worse. They got up 60 points to Sonoma Valley on Wednesday. Not a great effort there, but credit to Annalee with some fantastic offense. Quinn Vermeulen with the nice lay-in here. This is a 10-point deficit. The Trojans have not scored here. It's a 10-0 run for Annalee. The Trojans have at points after that Healdsburg loss, including that Piner game where they started just lethargically hung around. They haven't brought that intensity. They didn't bring it against Sonoma Valley. They didn't bring it against Montgomery on Saturday. Granted, the Vikings were a good team. How do they pick some energy up? This game means so much. It's so important. How do they get something going?
Yeah, the Trojans seem to they seem to be a little off right now. They don't seem to be like on top of everything. They're not communicating well, and they're just not being able to follow through on all of their shots. I think that just this timeout could really help them get their heads back in the game. They seem a little nervous because they are playing against
that is a big thing,
rival
definitely.
Annalee, which does make it a lot harder, especially.
Yeah, definitely senior night.
Game.
Eight seniors on the team, and it's a big night for you. It's one you're going to remember.
Yeah.
And I actually remember last year's senior night for the Trojans. They only lost three seniors from last year, but Joey Potts, the star, had an off night on his senior night because it was so big. But there they had juniors to pick them up. Here, Izetta and Powers, the only two juniors that get a lot of playing time. It's not going to be easy next year for them. Izetta and Powers both, and they'd love to get some more contribution from Cole Powers, who's proved as he's been on varsity, he's not afraid of the big moment. Izetta's been a little bit of a disappointment, but he has played better in SCL. Izetta averaging about 6 points per game, had 12 against Sonoma in that victory at home against the Dragons, which was really, besides the Annalee Road victory, their last quality win. The Trojans currently sitting at 6-4 at SCL in third. Annalee and Sonoma Valley are tied at fourth at 5-5. So if the Trojans lose this, they go into a tie for third. Potentially, likely Sonoma will win their game tonight because they are taking on lowly El Molino. So that means we're probably going to have a three-way tie for third place.
Wow.
It's going to be very hard as we see Gottschall to the line. It's going to be very hard for the Trojans to go up to Healdsburg and win that game. And potentially the Trojans are left out if they lose that game. It's going to depend on tiebreakers. We won't go through all the scenarios with you on that because it's complicated. As Gottschall, it's the first. But if they lose this game tonight, they lose to Healdsburg. Their season very well may end, and they could shockingly not even make the SCL tournament after there was a real possibility that we thought they could win the league title this year.
Yes, but I do think that if the Trojans put themselves together, they still seem a little nervous and a little shaken. I think that if they do kind of clear that out, then they will be able to pull back.
Gottschall there called for the foul and calling it a little tighter here. 16 foul there. It looked like good defense from Gottschall, but instead J.J. Fain's going to enter the line, and boy, is the junior Fain special. Really the only player that got any time on the SCL champion Tigers last year. Fain averaging 15.3 points per game, a rebound per game. Overall, as he misses the first, shooting 38% from the field, which is pretty remarkable for a high school basketball player. And he has really helped the Tigers out, and they've really improved of late. Appreciate Warrior tuning in as well. Keep the live chat going. We'll try to get to any of your questions or comments. Coach Bears, head coach for the Trojans, with an unhappy-looking stare and questioning whether he will be back next year. Certainly making the SCL tournament will help, but this has not been the end of the season that anybody has wanted there as it hits off the ref. A break for the Trojans. Great job by Izetta and Fain diving on the floor. Trojans pick it up. That was going to be backcourt if it didn't hit off the ref. And then a foul on Annalee. 16 foul on the Tigers, and the Trojans will be in the 1-1 bonus on the next shot. Head coach Brett Page for the Tigers. High expectations, but they knew this year was going to be tough. Next year in the new league, but they will return a lot, so they will certainly have a lot more time for improvement. Trojans need to make their free throws the way they've been struggling offensively. That's not going to help. No field goals here in the second quarter, and there's just nothing going offensively right now for them. O'Neal had 17 against Sonoma. He's really been the one player that's blossomed as of late. Excuse me. Being blocked by a student right now who's taking a phone call. Drive in, good defense there by the Trojans. That's a three, and it is good. I could not see that number there. I think that was Brendan Medina, who unfortunately is sparking the fears of Trojan fans again. He was the varsity quarterback and played an impressive game, crushing the Trojan football team. Izetta answers with the three. The Trojans need some juniors to step up the way the seniors have really struggled at this big moment. And Izetta hits. Fane tried to answer, can't hit. Trojans badly need a run here to close out this half, get some energy, get some spark, get something going here. And Izetta can absolutely make his threes. He's just got to get in the rhythm. O'Neal's three is off. Pulled down by Kenny Alexander. Another junior just entered, but a double team there, not a smart shot. Fade the other way. Good defense by Izetta, but they call the foul on him. And one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We've got the basketball right at our feet. But a three-point play there. Wow. Things are not going the Trojans' way so far in terms of calls, and Annalee is getting out on the break a lot here. Trojans need to do a lot better job of getting back in transition.
I definitely agree.
So J.J. Fane, the junior star, might be the best player out on the court, and Trojans have dropped that intensity. You can tell in Fane's eyes the way he's playing out there. He has a very high level of intensity. He wants this. This is so big for the Tigers developing as a team, and these are also rivals, and it's been 10 years since the Trojans have swept Annalee, and this is the last time they're going to get to face their Sebastopol rivals before league play next year. A great feed into Jack Anderson. Anderson has 5. He had a 3 earlier. You hadn't seen much, unfortunately, from the leading scorer for the Trojans. He is so huge for them as Medina drives and can't hit. Loose ball, and Annalee will get a fresh 35 here, but Trojans need to get Anderson involved. He was the only reason they hung around in that Piner game. And stood a chance in the fourth quarter of that loss to the good Prospectors team. Lost 55-48. Anderson had double digits in that one, and he went for 24 against Costa. He could really play well, but the offense has really gotten going in the second quarter. Quinn Vermeulen for the Tigers, and both teams were pretty lethargic, I think, in that first quarter. For offensively, I think both teams have picked it up, and especially the Tigers have been really good offensively, haven't they?
Yes, they have. This has been a tough game. There's a 13-point lead if I have.
Anderson was double teamed. Trojans will have to pull it back out here. Anderson, you don't want him way out there, even though he's guarded by a smaller Wiseman. Right back to Anderson. That's way out of his range.
Kenny misses his 3.
Now you want to go back to Anderson. I feel like he can really get going offensively when everyone else is having an off night.
Yes.
He is a special senior. You don't want to leave J.J. Fane open.
What was that?
That was close to NBA range, wasn't that?
Whoa.
Fane is on fire. The lead is 16 here for the Tigers, and if the Trojans aren't careful, they could have a blowout here on senior night.
Yeah,
O'Neal with great aggression. What a great attribute he plays with, and he's played well last few weeks. Anderson trying to get some aggression, and they're going to call. No offensive foul. No, they did call a defensive foul. Well, the way they've been calling it tonight, I thought certainly they would call the offensive foul on Anderson. It was awfully close there with the charge, but they do give the foul to the Trojans, who are now in the 1-and-1 bonus.
Yeah.
Anderson will head to the line for 2, and Trojans have shot a lot better from the free-throw line this year, but they've looked really nervous from the line so far. I think they're below 50% for the free-throw line so far.
They are, definitely. But Jack is a good person to be doing free throws because he has such a great shot.
Yeah, and the way Anderson has blossomed this year, really been a great story for the Trojans that they'll remember. He misses that. They ruled it a shooting foul, my bad, so it is 2 free throws. 12.8 points per game, and we mentioned the 24 points against Casa, 16 against Napa, 17 against Emmanuel, and he went from last year could chip in some points, use his size this year, really being an offensive scorer, but you just saw it on those 3 throws. His shoulders slump. He's just looking like he's lacking confidence and energy that you'd expect late in a game on a senior night. J.J. Fain is on another planet right now. The Trojans double team him, and a good play there to force Fain to put up a wild shot. 43 seconds left to go here in this first half. Justin Wolbert, another of the seniors being honored tonight. Alexander, he can't hit the 3, and he does. How about that from the big man, Jamie, showing some range.
Griffin.
Yeah, Kenny Alexander actually hit against Healdsburg. He hit 3 3-pointers in that, or 2 3-pointers in that game. Time out Brett Page. He can hit threes there, and I don't think the Tigers were expecting to see the big man out there.
Definitely not. This is very great, and it's great for Kenny Alexander, who is a junior.
Yeah, so big also to see the juniors step up, and that's often how it is on senior night, that the seniors, it's really hard to bring it because it is so emotional for you out there, and we've seen that. Especially, it's been a struggle. It's probably hard for them to get up for this game just the way it's all developed. Can't win an SCL title now. Just probably not going to make NCS, and a little disappointing. And I think it's been hard to bring the energy and the intensity that we saw earlier this season. You've seen it tonight.
Yes, I agree. But I do think that having the juniors playing will be helpful, but it is hard because the coach may want to put in the seniors because it is their last home game.
Absolutely.
But if they want to progress into SCLs, then they will need to put in the juniors.
Shot clock turned off here for the Tigers. They obviously drew up a play to try to extend their lead, which is 13. Trojans led by 1 in the first quarter. At the end of the first, that was it. Splitting the defense, a lot of traffic. The ball will roll right to me. Got a little smile from Quinn Vermeulen, who's played well. 2.6, it's off the Tigers. Trojans would love a quick shot here.
Nice
Wolbert, he almost hit it. That would have been big for the Trojans if they could have got a bucket there to close the half, but they still trail by 13 here at the end of the first half, and unfortunately, that was not exactly, I think, what they were looking for in that first half for the Trojans.
I do agree. They are trailing behind by quite a bit. I do think that maybe this halftime, I feel like I keep saying that, but maybe it will help them put themselves together and really be able to communicate more. Because I feel, oh my.
Yeah, we will see. Let's listen into the varsity cheer performance here on senior night. All right, good performance there by our varsity cheer team.
Yeah.
We are going to get, we're going to get.
They're so cute.
Yes, there's going to be a little CYO game. We might show a tiny bit of that. But to continue our thoughts here on this first half, the Trojans played really good defense in that first half, but in that first quarter, Jamie, J.J. Fade really got going. How do the Trojans limit, clearly, the main man offensively for the Tigers? Because they don't have a lot of offense besides Fade.
That is very true, but I do think he does a lot for the team, and he carries a lot. And he is like 2 basketball players in oneself. And
right.
Not height-wise, but like
and
playing-wise.
You notice with his mask, I think he might have a broken nose, but it's not affecting him. He's looked at the zone. He's playing with remarkable intensity. He's been fun to watch, honestly. Unfortunately for the Trojans, that he's got it going, but they have to force it to other players, and I think that means double teaming Fane, forcing other players to shoot. Vermeulen has played really well tonight, so that is potentially another player that could step up for the Tigers, but as they hit the camera, I guess they're asking us to show their game because they weren't happy we weren't showing the game. But we're not going to right now. We've got a cute little CYO game going on with kids that must be, oh gosh, how old are those kids, Jamie?
Oh, age 7 and 8.
7
maybe.
and 8, yeah. They're very little.
No, not 7 and 8.
But in 10 years, they'll be here on senior night for the Petaluma High boys basketball team. Will there be a league title for the boys basketball? I don't know about that, but we'll see.
They are so cute.
Yes, they're showing some skill out there tonight.
I would say a little bit older than my brother. My brother's 5.
Yeah,
so I would say around 6
Hi,
and
Miss
7.
McClellan. Anyways, feels like Trojans need to force it out of fade, get it to other players, force them to make shots. This is a big moment. It's not easy to play in this. If the Trojans can just get a little bit more intensity offensively, I think, and close this gap, Italy will feel the nerves because this game is so vital for them if they want to make the LCL tournament, which would be so big for them considering how much they struggled early in this season, but they've really started to improve of late. So both teams can feel the nerves late. Trojans need to come out at a run, and they really need to play at a different level, to be honest with you, especially it really in both halves. The first quarter, defensively, it wasn't bad, but it helped Fane was limited. That second quarter defensively really was really disappointing, I thought. Just lethargic, not getting to the ball, not forcing turnovers. And Italy was getting back in transition because the Trojans weren't running back, something they do need to do. Nonetheless, you did see a little bit more offense late in that second quarter. I think that is probably their biggest positive so far. We saw Izetta with a 3. Anderson got a little involved. I think that's a focal point here for the Trojans. We're still on us, Jamie.
Oh.
I think that's a focal point.
My bad, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think that's a big focal point for the Trojans to get Anderson more involved. Gottschall, he's really had his issues of late, but he is the team captain.
Yes.
They love him to step up. I know it's an emotional night for the seniors, but it's showing that next year they're going to miss them, and tonight they need them because they want to have a few more games with these special seniors.
Yes. There are 8 of them, and having them graduate
Hey Danny, you want a quick interview? Cool. All right.
Hi, Danny.
Yeah, kid. Danny's going to take your seat real quick. Is that all right? All right. Danny Marzo, varsity baseball player, is going to join us with spring starting on Monday, and a lot of high expectations for the varsity baseball team. How do you think the team's going to shape out this year?
Really, really good. We got a lot of seniors. Good, strong lineup. I'd probably say 1 through 6, maybe even 1 through 7 were all on the varsity team last year. They played a lot, so the experience is there.
You talked about that experience. How do you guys use that experience from last year? You nearly won SCL, just couldn't beat Annalee, got to the quarterfinals of NCS. How do you get farther this year using the lessons you learned from last year?
So I think the main thing is to be more aggressive early on in the games because, like you said, against teams like Annalee, and once we reach NCS, the pitching is going to get better. So we have to jump on teams early and not wait for curveballs for changeup. So hit the fastballs and then also just focus on throwing strikes. That was probably one of our biggest problems last year. And we'll use that now because we know what to expect from umpires. We know how other teams will hit, so.
You're the ace on the rotation. How are you looking to anchor the pitching staff? Everyone returns, all 3 starters return from last year. What are you guys looking to do to help out the team?
Just go deeper into games. And honestly, I wouldn't even say I'm the ace. Blake threw tremendous last year, and we have Nick too. Nick's looking phenomenal. So us 3 just rotating throughout the lineup, we'll be able to go deeper into games and then just let the bats do the work. We'll keep the defense honest. We'll make sure the other team isn't hitting that well. But other than that, we'll just let our bats hit.
And finally, you guys are going to the Scott Boris tournament in Sacramento as we have a big shot hit by the CYO players. You're going to the Scott Boris tournament in March, which I've heard some people call almost a state championship. It has some of the top teams in the state. I know Casa was there last year, be there again. What are you guys looking to get out of that experience?
I mean, of course, the goal for everyone is to win it, but other than that, just play some really, really good teams. Get that exposure to some of the best in the state. So when the SCO tournament comes around and when we're facing teams at NCS, we're not used to it, so we're accustomed to those teams. We're accustomed to that level of competition.
Thank you so much, Danny.
That was the wonderful Danny Marzo, a special student here at school and a very special baseball player. The CYO teams have just finished up. I think the blue team won, or maybe it was the white team. I don't know. Anyways, players are going to make their way out of the court. We're about 3 minutes away from
Winning
tip-off.
observations here. The blue or the white team could have won.
I know, right? That's what I said, too. That's the same thing on varsity. Blue or white team's going to win as well. Anyways, to finish on the varsity baseball team, a lot of excitement for the team this year. They have all their starters back, as Danny mentioned. 1 through 7, their hitters are there. They have a really good schedule this year. They're going to face a lot of really good teams. And if they can get wins, they can get a really high NCS seed. I see them, Jamie, probably 1 or 2 in NCS this year. They're going to get to play Casa, Casa, one of the best teams in state last year at one point, ranked number 3 in Northern California. They do lose some seniors, but Casa will be really good. Casa will be really good again this year. So it should be really interesting to see how the Trojans shape up against Casa Grande, against some of those really good teams. Also, we will be live streaming a bunch of the big baseball games. That schedule's going to be out soon, and we'll always announce when we're going live for the varsity baseball team. They're going to try to take home the SCL title. They're going to try to win NCS this year. All the expectations are out. Hey, Coach Ratchin. All the expectations are out for the team this year. Second year for Jim Salvatella. So many seniors. Big expectations. It should be fun.
The camera's about to die.
Is it? Okay.
Do we have extra batteries?
Take that battery on the scoreboard and switch it with that one. Cameron, how is the battery on that camera? Can you check for me? 1 minute before.
Did we bring extra batteries?
No, you just swap them because that is a charger in it. Okay, appreciate everyone tuning in. Keep the live chat going here. XD tuned in, Warrior, Dan the Man. And feel free to like this video. You can subscribe to our channel as well. We're good. Yeah. You just shut up back up there, though. Good job.
Cameron.
All right, Cameron Grant also on
Cameron,
camera tonight. I want to thank him for his wonderful work. And as we approach the start of the second half, will the Trojans play with a new level of intensity? I think in the end that's the key here. This offense is capable of scoring, but they need to get good ball movement, get into a rhythm, start cutting, and start really playing basketball like they did early in the season. They really had some games where they played spectacularly. Against Casa, they put up 61 points. They narrowly lost to Redwood. Oh, hey, Alex. Yeah, what do Alex Dodd, one of the experts here, what does the team need to change here in the second half to get it closer?
They need to buy themselves a new offense because whatever they're running now is not working. They just pass the ball around the perimeter, and then they have 5 seconds left of the shot clock, and they drive, and they get fouled, and they make 1 or 2 free throws, and they take a bunch of time off the shot clock. And down 15, it's not going to work. They just gotta do better.
It's a pretty good analysis, Alex. Thank you so much. Hey, Belle. Thanks.
Absolutely right from Alex Dodd, who I got the pleasure of color commentating with. Hey, Ernie. Got the pleasure of color commentating with for the last 2 Varsity Boys basketball games. And he's right. The Trojans are just dribbling it around, not really cutting, not really moving, and just sort of throwing up shots. Sometimes they get fouled, and they're missing a lot of their free throws. Well, there's a shot. Brendan O'Neill. That's a 3, so that's exactly what you want to see offensively. A nice pick and roll there. It got O'Neill free. The answer, no good for Fain, and he's bound to miss some shots after some of the crazy ones he hit in the first half. And then a foul is called there on the Trojans.
Okay.
Well, down to 10 here. That was the start you wanted with O'Neill hitting the 3, and that was a lot better ball movement. It wasn't just lazily passing the ball around. That looked a little better there. 7-13, plenty of time here for the Trojans to chip away, and the way that the offense has been for Annalee, it's been sporadic, really good in the second quarter, but pretty lazy in that first, and they've had issues all season long offensively. When Thane gets shut down, there's not a lot of places to go for the Tigers, so we'll see if that will help here. All seniors out there for the Trojans, honoring 8 of their seniors. Holmes not much of a three-point shooter. Trojans running a lot of clock, but that was good ball movement. O'Neill really feeling it right now. Offensive board, Anderson. Oh, that was great fight there. Just couldn't finish. Off another offensive rebound. Tip. Gottschall pulls it down. Oh, it's a battle in there. It's somehow no call, and then foul on the Trojans. I'm sorry, out on the Trojans.
That was an intense moment.
Wow. Yeah, a big battle there inside here, and the Trojans just can't put one in, but that was tough there that they did not get a call. They've called it pretty tight in this game. Anderson, that's much better intensity there.
Yes.
But we have already seen so far by the Trojans, they're pressing, they're moving the ball, they're getting to their spots. I think Coach Bears gave them a wake-up call at halftime.
That is very true. They are playing way better than they were before.
Fane getting harassed, however, that leads to an open outlet, which is really just the risk that you put up if you're pressing. Carson Roberts with the lay, and not a whole lot they could have done about that one. I think you like the effort on the press. What a spin move by O'Neal, just a little bit too much out of control. And Annalee trying to go the other way. Anderson with a nice block. It will stay Tiger ball, but already much better intensity. That's the first step for the Trojans. Now can they find their shot, get a good rhythm going offensively, and keep J.J. Fane in clamps?
I do think that this will be. My bad. I do think that this is a better half for the Trojans. They are pulling in very well. I do think that this is going to be very helpful to the game.
Well, first quarter was pretty lethargic by both sides, and we did have some technical difficulties, so you really missed that ugliness. But boy, did Annalee step it up in the second quarter. Fane went off. Trojans went ice cold for a while, didn't do anything offensively, hit a couple shots that they needed. But here with much better ball movement to start, some screens, some pick and rolls, and really battling for offensive boards and ways to get free shots here. And you can't just hold the ball at the perimeter here. Anderson, he got a little open, off the mark. O'Neal with a save. He falls into the stands, but that is the intensity level that you want. I thought he might have flown right into our table.
I thought so too.
And
hey, that would be pretty cool to catch on camera.
I'm not sure I want to be thrown into the table.
I think that would be an intense moment for Trojan Live. I would love it.
But that is the intensity that you need and you want, and it's great to see O'Neal do that. O'Neal plays with a certain level of aggressiveness that is extremely impressive, and sometimes it's out of control, but he went for that loose ball. He can help be a spark. Really heart and soul of the team, was the team captain last year. He's only a junior. O'Neal, he's feeling good, but that one was well short. Trojans trailing here by 12. Annalee led by as much as 16, so the Trojans have cut it down a little bit. Fane so far with no points, so that's a positive. Trojans have the size advantage. Hasn't been much to go inside, and a 3 seconds in the key is the call on Annalee. So another turnover. A lot of turnovers early here. Interesting timeout. Interesting timeout by Coach Spot Bears here, Jamie. And I think it'd be great for you to show Trevor your basketball knowledge. Show it off right now.
I'm distracted.
Yes, but anyways, interesting timeout there. Feels like the Trojans are playing with better intensity. Now how do they get the offense going and really cut into this deficit, go on a run?
I do agree with that. I think this timeout will also be helpful because they are playing a lot better than this half than they were in the first half. I think this will help them come back up.
Yeah, well, O'Neal playing with a lot of effort. He feels like he might be the guy, but often once you can get one guy going, be the spark, it opens up that offense for the entire team. This camera just is not in a good spot in this game. Thank you, Luca. Luca Dabano is fixing our camera. There is the student section, who's done a great job. Our camera's been hit about 2 million times, I think, tonight. It's been a little bit remarkable. Student section has done a wonderful job bringing the spirit here. They are all clad in their pink. You can see them on the right side of your screen. Fill in the section. And they have been a lot of fun. Warrior wants Mr. Sturt to be interviewed. XD wants Henry Ellis to be interviewed. I bet we can catch Henry at the end of the game. He's always fun to talk to, and his brother unable to play, unfortunately, with a broken collarbone, but one of the 8 seniors honored here tonight. And that was a big loss for the Trojans. Trey Davis injured as well, so 2 of their seniors, 2 of their best 3-point shooters at guard, they don't have, so that has really hurt them, and it's meant the Trojans have had to go really big, which can diminish at least speed-wise. O'Neal is trying to make the most of this special night for him, and credit to him for the way he plays. Gottschall a little bit out of control, but he finishes. There's some contact, gets it to go. Lead cut down to 10 here. 31-21. You see the press again, and they're calling it really loosely, especially in the second half. What you need to do, it is tipped, and Anderson able to pull it down ahead to Holmes. He catches the baseball pass. Gottschall's open, but you can tell he just is not confident out there, even though he hit that last shot. Gottschall, ever since he got into that altercation against Sonoma Valley, the second half of the SCL schedule, he just hasn't looked like the same player. He was playing so well first half of the year. Average 10 points as Wolbert hits the log jumper. Was averaging at 10, no call there on the lay-in. That's an interesting call. But Gottschall averaging almost 10 points per game early in the season, down to 7 now. He had a 17 and 11 double-double against Novato's. O'Neal can't lay it and gets his own board. Oh, man, he's playing with great effort. He is surrounded by 4 Tigers right now. Says Trojan ball. Surrounded by 4 Tigers is O'Neal, and he's still able to pull down a board or keep it Trojan ball, which is very impressive. He has by far been the best Trojan out there, bringing the intensity and the high level. So that has been good to see. 3:23 remaining left here in the third. Gottschall had a really good first half of the season, and reason he was named team captain, but just hasn't able to bring it, unfortunately. Powers re-enters. He's been pretty quiet in this one. Had a big breakout game against Piner when no one else was shooting well for the Trojans. Speaking of Cole Powers, he thought about that. Instead, a nice drive. Really good lay in to Henderson, and he just dropped it, and Coach Bears puts his head in his hands and wonders why, if things turned out like this all season long. Trojans have been horrific in close games. Their only win in close games was to Annalee. They're 1-6 in games decided by 5 points or less, as Medina can't finish. Annalee's gone ice cold here. Trojan ball. The one victory was at Sebastopol. Low scoring affair there, 44-42, as we see a technical assessed to, no, maybe a warning. No, I don't know what they ruled there. Apologies, I missed that. Maybe Warriors, our official replay expert, Mike Pereira, can tell me what happened there. I missed that. Not sure what they called, but they reversed it, so it's now Annalee ball. Not sure why. Trojans' defense has been really tight here, really aggressive, and it's been effective, Jamie. Lay-in by Quinn Vermeulen, and he's picked it up. J.J. Fain not even out there right now, but Annalee just doing enough as the foul is called on Wisman. But the effort's been there defensively. They limit the Tigers, and maybe O'Neal can get going with a shot. He's averaging 10 points per game. Anderson, maybe Izetta hit some threes. This isn't over. I know there's some pessimism on the live chat right now, but
Yeah.
I don't think don't need to be salty, Jamie. I don't think that the Trojans aren't hanging their heads here. They need to continue to give it their fullest effort. And you don't just want it swinging around the paint, though. That does nothing. Izetta will launch one. That's not the shot you want to see. Good board, though, pulled down by Anderson. You think the Trojans must have some plays drawn up. Wolbert from downtown. That's a big one. Justin Wolbert, one of the seniors, wakes up from a slump. He's been pretty quiet, averaging 5 points per game. But Annalee answers on the other end. Oh, man. You can't allow that. And guess who it was, Jamie? J.J. Fain.
Yeah.
Timeout, head coach Scott Bears. He just has to be furious. Furious right now. Furious at the way that the Trojans didn't get back there. You hit that big shot by Wolbert, the three. You're obviously pumped up, but you have to get back on defense there. They've got to put a run together. Their offense hasn't been good enough. That chipping away, they're never going to catch up to the Tigers.
Yes, that is true. They are still behind by 11 points, and they do need to keep this strong. they do need to keep it up and keep going.
Yeah, and it's hard to bring intensity for a full game, but you feel like they must have a lot saved in the second half because you really didn't see it in the first half. And by this point, they've had to work through the nerves this senior night. You know, that's always hard, and 8 seniors out there, but it's got to be freed up, and they got to be playing a normal basketball game now, not be worried about 3 straight losses. And all their struggles of late, Wolbert isn't worried about it, and he's always a strong leader, varsity football quarterback as well, and he has the last 5 points here for the Trojans to close it down to 9. Maybe he's the player that can get a spark. He's been a spark in a couple games, always really good defensively. Late foul called on Anderson, though, and A.V. Fry, the 6'3 junior forward, who's a lot smaller, still able to get right around Jack Anderson with a little bit better speed, and that means he will have 2 at the line. They've called it so loose. That is the first team foul on the Trojans, only 2 on the Tigers. And the Tigers have hit their free throws tonight as well, something that the Trojans did not do in that first half, which was certainly unfortunate and put them in a bigger hole. They trailed by as much as 16. The Trojans have led by 1 at the end of the quarter. They led by as much as 2 in that first quarter, but that was it. And Annalee, this big moment, their lack of experience, it hasn't fazed them anymore. They've been through a lot. They had a lot of losing early. They lost to Ukiah, who is probably the worst, one of the worst teams in the North Bay, but that was their first game of the season. They were young, and since then they've been feisty Tigers. Another steal there, another trip to the line, and they haven't been afraid. They've shown the effort, and that is everything you want to see from Annalee and head coach Brett Page. Casson Roberts will now head to the line for 2, and just not enough cuts, not enough ball movement offensively. And Annalee has done that. They've done a great job with moving the ball around, getting players open, and not forcing them to be relied on J.J. Fain, but getting other players involved. Both free throws are good. We'll lead back out to 13, and no run has been able to put on. You have Wolbert, O'Neill, Gottschall, Powers, and Holmes out there for the Trojans, who these seniors playing their final game here. Another steal by the Tigers. Good defense. Offensive board and the lay-in put in by A.V. Fry. How about the production from the junior? Well done there. Fry with 6 points per game here. And the Trojans trail by 15 again, and they cut it down to 9. But now they're in trouble again. They were able to keep it up for about 4 minutes. And you're already seeing it drop, and they're just passing it around. Not really too many plays or ball movement that's going to fool a good Tiger defense. Shot clock down to 8. Gottschall just fires away. Never had a chance. Annalee pulls down the board. Shot clock turned off here at the end of the third. Oh, a quick shot. Oh, they're feeling it. Fain says, I haven't played enough offense in this third quarter. Only had 5 points before that. He hits the jumper. Biggest lead of the game. Gottschall stepped on the line here. Annalee ball. And these last 2 minutes, it is unraveled quickly here. And Trojans need to just maintain their cool right now here. It's been a loud student section, but it's been hard to keep them going. Brendan O'Neill's mother is helping the student section stay positive, and they are trying to encourage them on. Michael Barabalt, one of our student section leaders, encouraging, and a lot of seniors here that have really encouraged things. I think Brendan O'Neill's mother did something, and athletic director Coach Christ is going to get a conversation with Ms. O'Neill. She's trying to stay positive. The emotions can get to everyone. I think things are resolved now. Oh, she might be out. Oh, wow. That was interesting. 17-point deficit here, though, for the Trojans. It's an 8-0 run by the Tigers, and the last thing that you wanted here. Trojans are going to need to go on a run offensively I haven't seen, and their offense, it's been bad, it's been ugly, and this is probably the worst it has been, though. They really struggled against Montgomery, only put up 34 points, but honestly, the Vikings might have the best defense in the whole county, so credit to that. Lead is 19 there. That shot will not count. The jumper by Bertling, who's only averaging 2.8 points per game, but he hits there. Hits there nonetheless here. 19-point deficit. We're going to get the cheerleaders in just a moment. That was really good intensity for 5 minutes, but once they let their guard down, as we're going to see the cheerleaders, once the Trojans let their guard down in those 3 minutes, Annalee showed out their experience, their leadership, and they were ready to pick it up. And suddenly you're faced with a 19-point deficit. The Trojans would need to put a remarkable offensive effort here in this fourth quarter if they come out with a win.
Yes, they did seem to let their guard down in the end, and Annalee did try to take advantage of that, and they did. This is not looking too well, but I do think the Trojans do still have a chance if they really pull through, but it would need a miracle.
Yeah, it's been tough sledding here for the Trojans as we get the flag right around. Griffin Epstein here with you. And Jamie Cantieri alongside me. 8 more minutes here in this home gym for the Varsity boys basketball team. And we do want to talk about what these seniors have meant for this program. I know this has been a pessimistic night. It's been tough. But 12-12 overall in the season. They're probably going to go to 6-5 in SCL. We'll see if they make the SCL tourney. They've shown at points this year how good they can be. They narrowly beat Healdsburg. You wonder about that last minute of the Healdsburg game if they won that. What could have gone differently, but Gottschall, O'Neill, Anderson, Wolvert's been great. They've meant so much to this program, and they're leaving their mark. Last year really was an exciting season, really played well. Powers, jumper is short. Junior tried to get involved. Really played well last season. Finished 16-13 last year, 8-4. They had an exciting victory over Healdsburg in overtime in the semifinals of the SCL tourney. Just couldn't beat Annalee last year, but beat Healdsburg as well, and really battled hard last year with almost all of these players that came back this year, 8 returning varsity players. And they're now going to have to bid adieu. And injuries have played a factor as well. Don't want to count that out. We've been moaning the team's effort. Good defense there by Wolvert. And then foul on Gottschall, who is beyond belief at this point. 3rd team foul on the Trojans. But Annalee ball here trailing by 19. Anderson will re-enter. Alexander Ruender, Wolbert out, Gottschall out. Gottschall's 3rd foul, so that could be an issue. But last year was special. 2 years ago, winning the SCL Tournament Championship, and this year they showed sparks. They had that really great victory over Casa. I think that's going to be the highlight of the year. Spinning there by Roberts to get it over Alexander. Kenny Alexander's going to need to develop, but he came in January, put together some good minutes. Trojans pulled out some SCL wins, got a victory over Sonoma, went into Annalee and got a big victory there, and they really should have beaten Healdsburg when they played them. Really should have beaten Pioneer when they played them too. Only they had some tough calls, and Pioneer only made 1 field goal in that 4th quarter in that road game against Pioneer. Pioneer made 21 free throws. Only reason they had that, but after that Healdsburg game hasn't been the same. Trojans should have beaten Redwood. We're so close to beating San Rafael. Really good victories over Vintage and Napa, who will be in the league next year in league play, and blew out Terra Linda. Whitaker Ellis was so good as Alexander seemed to have a ferocious block, but they call a foul, calling it on the body there, and 2 shots at the line for Avery Fry, and the big man for the Tigers have really done a great job getting involved. They haven't been scared that they've been the smaller people out there, and that has helped a lot. First is hit by Fry. Lead here is the biggest of the game for the Tigers. It is 22 points as Trojans have really gotten cold and haven't been able to get a whole lot going. As we mentioned, injuries played a big part. Ellis injured in that Healdsburg game that they lost, and Whitaker Ellis was so big. He had a huge game against Terra Linda in their opener. Foul on Annalee. Trojans will get 2 at the line. Had a big game against Annalee, put up 24 points in that one, and really contributed throughout the year. Did Whitaker Ellis, but with the collarbone injury out, and Trey Davis had some spurts, played well in that Sonoma Valley game, hit a couple threes, and had 10 against Napa, and that good victory against the Crushers, or I'm sorry, that's the Indians, but with both of them out for the season, really limited their guard play, and it forced them to go so much big, a lot less speed and often it's harder for bigger guys to handle the ball here as we have a timeout. It's hard for bigger guys to handle the ball, and mostly the point guards are players that they don't want out to play. They're not at that level yet. Zach Clark, Garrett Gehring, and they also had Garrett Freitas leave the basketball team to focus on football and lacrosse, who could have been potentially another guard. So I think that was a big storyline this year, is suddenly they found themselves really depleted halfway through the year at the guard position, and they did call up Cole Powers, but he's really a bigger guy, more lanky, small forward.
He is a good shooter too. When he gets in, when he gets into it, he is a really good shooter, and I think it was a good call to bring him up.
Yeah, absolutely, and he almost won that game against Pioneer. That would have kept their SCL title ups going. He was not enough in that one, but he should be good next year for the Trojans. But I think guard play next year, I think the Trojans are hoping that there are two guards that have a lot of potential. They are both freshmen. I do not know their names, but they are both on JV. They're the leading scorers now on JV, now that Powers is gone. They should be on varsity next year, and they are both spectacular players. The JV team, as O'Neill has two at the line here, actually a 1-and-1. It's the first. Trojans make some free throws. I guess that was and one, actually. So he made the shot and then converted the free throw there. Lead down to 20 anyways. Trojans will get a bunch of JV players up next year with all the players leaving, and the JV team has done really well under head coach Mike Avery. They're 15-5, and most impressively, the JV team has only lost one game in SCL all season long. If they can beat Healdsburg on Friday, they will. There's now no banner for JV as we have a foul on Gottschall. Or on Powers, excuse me. No banner in JV for SCL, but it would be an impressive victory for them to get that SCL title. So that could be something exciting, and knows that the future is still bright here. The future is bright at Annalee, though, with Quinn Vermeulen, who's played really well tonight, and he has stepped it up from how he's been performing for much of the season, as Vermeulen only a 46% shooter, just doesn't shoot a lot, but he's been a lot more aggressive tonight as the Trojans are going to get to the line. Anderson to the line. And those two have stepped it up for the Tigers. They've shown the effort and fight that you like to see, and Powers has effort and fight, so you're hoping for that next year. Alexander will continue to develop. George Tynes, who I think the seniors will stay in, so we won't be able to see any of the juniors tonight, but Tynes a really raw talent at the start of the year. He has really developed. He could be really good next year, another big man, and the Trojans are losing a lot of their big guys. Anderson, O'Neill, Gottschall, really three outstanding big men all gone from the team after this year. This is their final home game. They got 5:33 left in their careers here in this home gym. As Anderson hits both to keep the lead at 20. But Trojans are hoping that the JV team can pick up the slack next year. It's not going to be easy going into a new league. They'll have Casa in their league next year, who's been through their struggles this year, along with Vintage, Napa, American Canyon, Fain off on the 3. Justin Sienna and Sonoma will stay in the league, and hopefully the Trojans will be able to clean up the mess they had with the Dragons this year, some incidents there. Anderson's 3 is off the mark here. Trojans offense just can't get going, and they've been sort of throwing up shots at will here. Thane has been a lot quieter there. Good block there by Alexander. O'Neill pulls up, and it's the 3. And it is nice to see these good moments here. These Trojan seniors, as we mentioned, Jamie, have meant so much. And when they can hit big shots like that, it will make them feel good and remember their senior night well.
Yes, that is very true. This is their last home game.
And a lot of memories here, and you always want to finish strong in those final moments for the Trojans. Appreciate everyone that's tuned in on the YouTube channel, and including Justin Langwell, XD McGee, Warrior as always, and XD McGee wondering if the school can hire Coach K out of Duke.
That would be
We might have to talk to Mr. Sturridge about if the budget's there. I don't know if Coach K would be interested in coaching high school basketball. Got a pretty good program with Duke.
Not.
Yeah.
But that would be awesome.
It'd be cool, but we will see if head coach Scott Bears is back next year for the Trojans. Obviously, that's going to be a big part of their future. If the Trojans really decide to go on to a full rebuild considering what has happened the second half of this season that's been so disappointing. For Mullion, the three-pointer is good, and the lead is 23 for the Tigers. O'Neal has played with great effort tonight. He's really been good out there. Does not get the bounce there, but O'Neal has been one of the stronger players out there. He showed why he was captain last year and why we're going to remember him as one of the stronger players to come through this program. But on Coach Barry's, you have to give him credit and the assistant coaches credit for what they've been able to build in this program. They made back-to-back NCS for the first time since 1992. They won the SCL Tournament Championship for the first time in school history 2 years ago with that fantastic team with Ryan Cox and Kelly Garber. What a move by Walbert to the rack. Lays it in. That timeout, Scott there. That was wonderful by Justin Walbert. That's what you want to see. And this year they had some bright moments. He was able to develop these players to get to this level. Last year, just couldn't beat Annalee. Otherwise, they might have won SCL. But he has done a lot of development. It's just been this year, once he's gotten these players, they've shown their capability, and then they got to a level where something went wrong. And there's also been that issue of the team being known a little bit as a feisty team. There was the incident with Sonoma Valley, and that has hung over the team, I think, a little bit. And we talk about the Healdsburg loss. They haven't been able to close out close games, haven't had good poise. But that that Sonoma Valley game was really, besides their Annalee win on the road, their last good win. So you wonder about that game and that incident, if that has messed with the Trojans all season long.
Yeah.
Michael Barabalt, not showing him right now, has done a great job leading the student section, and shout out to them. They've been wonderful this year. The Trojans have been hard to beat at times this year, especially early in the season when they were playing at their full level. But the drop that they've had in their play, student section hasn't been able to bring it enough. Trojans being blown out here tonight against the Tigers. They're going to have their fourth straight loss. They will fall to 6-5 in SCL. The question is, will the game against Healdsburg be their final game? As we mentioned before, it's going to depend on Annalee and Sonoma Valley, who will likely all go into a tie at 6-5. Piner at 8-2, and Healdsburg at 10-1, needing to beat the Trojans on Friday night to close out their first SCL title since 1998, which would be special for the Greyhounds. Would be good to see Healdsburg get the SCL title. They've battled hard. They're really a valiant team, and they were able to pull out the victory against the Trojans here with a remarkable effort, and they didn't give up. When they certainly could have given up. The gym was nuts here, and it looked like the Trojans were going to be in the driver's seat for the SCL title if they could have just closed it out. They were so close, but unable to do it there. 3 minutes remaining here. Trojans trailing by 18 points. They cut it down to 9 early in the third quarter, brought a higher level intensity both offensively and defensively. Quieted Fane for a little bit, but that offensive good ball movement, mixing it up inside, good pick and rolls and plays was just not enough to get the Trojans offense really going. Wolvert had a couple shots, but no one got into a true rhythm to make a big run. And once the Tigers got a couple transition buckets, nice plays, and suddenly the lead was out to 19. Trojans got frustrated, and you could feel the air quickly been let out of this gym like a fast balloon being punctured, and foul on Holmes there. A balloon being punctured, and this was over by the fourth quarter. And you just can't win a game against a talented team like the Tigers when you bring 5 minutes intensity throughout the entire game. It's not going to work, Jamie, is it?
No, it is not going to work.
Appreciate everyone that has tuned in. Any final questions for us? Do not forget, though, viewers, I know it's been melancholy here tonight with the varsity boys basketball team and their high expectations falling short. Boy, has the varsity girls basketball team been the opposite. No one was expecting them to win the SCL title this year. They struggled last year, had a young team, gained a lot more experience. But wow, they are 11-0 in SCL. They cut down the nets last night on senior night as they have clinched the SCL title. They're looking to complete an undefeated season tomorrow night against Pioneer to go 12-0 in SCL. And then the SCL tournament starts next week. Their semifinal game is next Tuesday at home. 3 ball off the mark from Gottschall as we approach 2:30 left here. And foul in the backcourt. And nice to see Gottschall help Roberts up. That's good sportsmanship there. All seniors out there now for the Trojans getting their final moments of play. And for the Varsity Girls basketball team, not sure who they're going to face in that SCL semifinal game. Could be Healdsburg, Annalee, or Sonoma. I'm guessing based on the games tomorrow, depends on the outcome, it will be Healdsburg. But we'll be live here from the PHS gym, hopefully no technical issues, at 7 p.m. And it should be a good one. All three of those teams have challenged the Trojans, and the Trojans seem to have a knack for playing close games, but they always pull out victories, it seems like. They are so fun to watch. They play with such great defensive spirit. What a block last night from Nicole Costa. Great student section turned out for that senior night. They were a lot of fun to watch last night and all season long. And if you haven't watched any of our Varsity Girls basketball live streams or coverage, you can check out all of their games on our YouTube channel. I'd really advise it. But tune in live next Tuesday. If the team gets a victory there on the semifinal, they'll head to the SCL tournament final and look for the double-double sweep of going undefeated in SCL and winning the SCL tournament, which I couldn't even tell you when the last time a Trojan basketball team has done it, but it's probably been a while. But if they win that Friday night at the JC, I think that game will be, not sure what time that game will be, but we very well may be live if they make it to the SCL tournament championship game. Varsity Girls basketball team will let you know if that happens on our, if you subscribe, get an email if we go live, but you can also check out our Jailing and Orr announcements. So we will announce it there. 2:07 left to go, foul on Holmes. And Annalee in the 1-and-1 bonus. They'll be on the double bonus in their next shot. They have 2 shots from the line here with Brendan Martinez as they're putting in some of their bench players to play here. And Annalee keeping their SCL tournament hopes alive, but they are going to have to beat Piner on Thursday night or Friday night in the Prospectors gym, and if they lose that, they still might not make the SCL title. Oh, Critchett couldn't finish. That would have been a really nice basket for Teddy Critchett to remember on his senior night, but unable to get that one there, and that's what it's about here on this senior night, making those special moments. Anderson called for the foul. Double bonus now time for the Tigers, and that Varsity Girls basketball live stream will probably not be our final basketball live stream, Jamie, because the team is going to make NCS, and even if they are not an 8 seed or higher in that, because they are a league champion, they automatically will get a home game in the first round unless they are facing a fellow league champion, which is possible because there are multiple league champions in the Trojans bracket, but I'm guessing they're going to be around a 10 seed, a 9 seed, probably not going to face a league champion. They're almost certainly going to get a home game. That will be a week from Tuesday, probably a 7:30 start time, and as Holmes is trying to get a shot to remember, can't hit there. That could be against Casa Grande, which could be a revenge match for the Trojans who lost to the Gauchos earlier this season, but that would be a lot of fun if they were able to face Casa Grande in an NCS battle, and I bet the students would show out, and it could be a lot of fun to check that out. So probably at least 2 more Varsity Girls basketball live streams. Who knows how far they could go in NCS. They're on a 13-game winning streak as Martinez hits the first free throw. Trojans on a Varsity Girls basketball team, 13-game winning streak. They are 16-2 in their last 18. And they had some struggles early, but on the opposite of the Varsity Boys basketball team, they have blossomed into everything right, everything clicking for them. So that should be fun. Gottschall trying to get one last shot, and he does. The 3-pointer for Neville Gottschall. That's going to be the one he remembers. Wolbert will foul. This lead is actually down to, no, I'm sorry. Thought it was down to 11, down to 21. It was up at 24. No chance here, but good to see Gottschall get a 3 and get a little action. Stay tuned after the game here because the Trojans, we will be talking with a couple seniors on the Trojans. Might be a little down, but a lot to reflect on this night and their contributions in this game. First 3 are off the mark for Martinez. Are currently out on the floor. All 5 of the 8 seniors, and only 6 have been playing today because both Davis and Ellis injured. But you have Critchett, Gottschall, O'Neill, Holmes, and Anderson all out there. And boy, has Jack Anderson been good at points this year. And really breakout player. It was a lot of fun to watch. That 3-ball off the mark from Gottschall trying to get one more. Unable to get it. Trojans just hitting up some threes, trying to get something going, but unable to. Trailing by 22 here tonight.
Less than a minute left on the clock here.
Yeah, Annalie's gonna. This is a statement victory for them. Probably their best, one of their best victories of the season. To come in here and get a dominant victory. Critchett, yes, sir! Teddy Critchett. Oh, that's gotta feel good. He doesn't have a smile on his face because this is a hard loss. But that was fun to see Teddy Critchett throw up a three-point shot. We have a timeout here. Critchett, a senior, doesn't get a lot of playing time. Oh, that's going to be what he's going to remember.
Yeah.
Good to see from the senior. Only averaging half a point per game. Also a member of our Trojan Live crew as well. So, moment to remember there for Critchett, and moment to remember for all the seniors as hard as the end of this game and the season has been. Trojans are going to see their seniors exit one final time. The juniors are going to enter. And for the final time, O'Neill, Anderson, Gottschall
Spelled his name wrong.
are going to step off the court. Emotional, might be a few tears shed. And you see the future out there for the Trojans. You got Gehring, Izetta, Clark, Powers, and Tynes as well. That could be very well the starting five next year. So that's cool that Coach Bears gets the seniors one final applause, and you get to see potentially a junior lineup next year of what we might see in store next year. Will Coach Bears be there? Trojans will be in a different league. It's going to be a lot of changes next year. It'll be interesting to see how that works out, of course. We'll be covering the team once again next year, so it should be fun. And some talent on this team. You see Gehring with the good instincts there. He's got some skill, can't finish. Clark has good ball handles. The basketball junkie. He lays it in, and the foul. That's a good moment for Clark to finish. Averaging less than a half a point per game. Doesn't get a lot of playing time, but he's one of those guys that really cares about basketball. Seen him constantly watching basketball highlights, sometimes when he shouldn't in class, but it's the marks of someone that really loves basketball. And I know these five all out here for the juniors are gonna try to rebound from the end of what was this tough season. There may not be too many wins next year, but hopefully they can make the team proud. That is gonna do it. The final time these seniors will be out there. It was a time to remember for these 8 seniors. They fall short here tonight. Final score: Italy Tigers 62, Petaluma Trojans 46. The Trojans' 4th straight loss, unfortunately. They fall to 12-13 overall, 6-5 in league. We'll see if they make the FCL tournament. If they win against Healdsburg, they would make it, but that would be almost near impossible against the Greyhounds. They're going to be rooting against Italy and Sonoma to keep their hopes alive, just in case they can get a victory there. Stay tuned. We're going to have interviews coming up. Great job by the student section. You can see them filing out. We are going to try to grab interviews. Players headed to the locker room right now. So we will grab them after they head to the locker room. Credit to the Tigers tonight for how well they played. We are going to get the mic set up. So stick right here because you don't want to go anywhere. We're going to try to talk to a couple of the seniors who have meant so much to this Trojan team over the years and get their final closing thoughts, final time. We're going to get to talk to some of these very special young gentlemen who will go on to do special things in their lives, in their career. I don't know if it will be basketball, but Coach Bears has certainly had bright spots and positive moments for them. Stay right here. Interviews are next.
What is this?
Just leave that. Turn off your mic. Cameron, you can turn it off. Can you get on the headphones, please? Let's see. We want. Did I turn a picture? Oh no, you're standing in front of camera, Jamie.
I'm sorry.
Do that.
probably way too loud
Oh
right
my
now.
God.
Yeah, sorry folks.
All right, that should be pretty good. Does that sound good? All right, folks. Little loud? Okay. We have transitioned to the handheld mic. All right. I think players will be a little bit longer. See if we can potentially catch anybody for a quick interview before the end. I know someone requested Henry Ellis, so we're going to try to talk to Henry right now. You can get that off. You can take the mic, and you can talk.
Okay, hello. Sit down. Okay. All right, hello. What? Oh. Wow, that was
Henry Ellis is coming over to join us. Yeah, you can sit down as an honored guest. Henry has been one of our strongest Trojan supporters there. You've got your brother Whitaker's face on there, and no, it was senior night for him, wasn't able to play. But what did this night mean for him?
I thought it meant a lot. It was pretty disappointing not seeing him get to go in, like when he got announced, but he didn't get to go in. But it was a pretty fun night when the seniors came out and they got a standing ovation.
Yeah.
It was pretty important. It was his last game he'll ever play in this gym.
Obviously hard for Whitaker, was fighting through the injury. What's been his rehab and development process from that broken collarbone last month?
He's really tried hard to get back as quick as he can. He's gone to a couple doctors. Just been really motivated to get back.
It's good to see. Trojans just felt like they brought the intensity from about maybe 5 minutes in that third quarter, and besides that, we just didn't see a lot of intensity tonight, and sort of seeing that second half of the year. What do you think that's been?
I don't know. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's kind of that missing thing about the team.
Yeah, something's missing. You don't know what it is?
Yeah.
I know. I can't figure it out either. Coach Bears doesn't know, but it has felt like something is missing. Nonetheless, these seniors have been really influential. You got 8 seniors out there. What have they meant for developing this Petaluma basketball program? Obviously, you look up to them as a junior high player.
It's meant a lot. I saw some of the players getting a bit emotional. It's really meant a lot to them this year.
And how important was it for you coming out here with a lot of fans and getting to support the team? I remember the Casa game. It was so loud, probably high of the year. What's that experience been like with the student section and you and your friends as well supporting the team?
It's been really fun to just support the team, get out here, just watch some basketball.
And what grade are you in? When can we expect you to be a Trojan?
I'm in 7th, so in 2 years.
2 more years. I'll be gone, but I know you'll be out here on the court, and someday you'll have your senior night. And after a long career, thank you, Henry. It's been fun talking to you all season long. Yes. All right, we're going to try to grab players in just a moment. Hopefully should be coming out of the locker room. That means it's your turn to talk again, Jamie. I'm going to give you a subject to talk about because I know you really struggle at that. If you know about Coach K, you could talk about him. But if you don't know, actually, why don't we have Cameron talk? Come on, Cameron. Yeah. Why don't I have Cameron talk, because Cameron is a member of our drum line, and we don't hear a lot about our drum line. So let's talk about drum line.
Let's talk about drumline. All right, we got a sports section. Why don't we get a drumline section at Trojan Live? I mean, honestly, they're probably the biggest part of this. We're probably the biggest part of this school. I mean, sports, whatever. Band, that's cool. But you know what's cooler? Drumline. There you go. We got competitions coming up. I bet people didn't know that. We actually do stuff outside of the football season. We actually do stuff in the football season, too. We didn't get to play any football games this year because the whole field thing. But next year, when the field is back, where it's all brand new, you're going to see the drumline out there doing some halftime shows for football games. Right now, we're traveling around Northern California doing some hecka cool competitions. We're working on a really cool show. Dustin Friel, our instructor, put a lot of work into writing it, and we're putting a lot of work into learning it. It's really coming along. So some cool stuff. I'm here talking about drumline on a basketball live stream while we're waiting for basketball players to get out of the locker room so we can interview them about basketball, which is what this stream is about, and not drumline. Jamie, you want to add anything?
I'm just fixing the Trojan Live banner. I don't really got anything to talk about.
Can I get a join drumline?
Join Drumline. I'm probably not even in frame.
If you want to join drumline, keep a lookout. The end of this year, beginning of next year, we're going to get some new recruits. You really don't have to know anything about music. You just kind of jump on in and start learning. It's a whole lot of fun. You learn a lot. It's a lot more than just drumming, but also a lot of drumming. Sorry, I'm a little sick, which is why you didn't see me on camera very much, but I was behind the camera doing the camera work for this game. I felt pretty good about it. I think that was the whole point of this stream, is just watching my camera work and not the actual playing. Just kidding. It's a cool game, and it's a lot of fun to be able to film it. So it adds a level of depth to, instead of just watching the game, you really got to pay attention to where the ball is, which you probably do that anyways. Having fun back there with the banner?
I love the banner.
She loves the banner, she says. We're still waiting for some players and for Griffin to get out here. I got Michael Barabal running around with the flag in his hand. Oh, look at that, is beautiful. We got a beautiful banner here behind us, looking really great. We got Whitaker Ellis's little brother waving that sign around, really loving it. Those signs are cool. If I ever reach a point in my life where someone makes one of those signs for me, like I don't care what it is, like my life will be complete. If I ever reach that point where someone takes the money, it's probably a bit of money to do that, so. Is there like a website that does that? The Big Heads? I'll just buy one for myself. Put it up in my room. Yeah. Yeah, just when I'm walking around school, just pay someone to have the big sign up behind me. Make me look important. Welcome back to Late Night with Cameron, the late show with Cameron Grant. The early 7-ish. What time is it?
That's what I'm
9
almost
12. 9 almost 12. The late 9-ish hour with Cameron Grant and Jamie Cantieri. Our first guest is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's not here right now, but he'll be here eventually. In our hearts. He's always in my heart, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Yeah, he should be here any minute. We also have...
Oh, we're getting lots of comments.
Getting comments on our stream? Let's do you guys want to do an AMA? Just kidding.
Here we go. Can you ask Mike there about the talk? Do you drum in a line?
I do a lot.
What's your favorite meme?
What is my favorite meme? I don't want to say anything terrible. It kind of changes, like, you know, your favorite song changes, your favorite meme changes. What is my favorite meme right now?
Oh, they know your favorite meme.
They know I need to know what your favorite meme is, Cameron. Okay, so I kind of like the ones where it's like the big monster and the little guy, and it's like me at 3 a.m. getting a glass of water, because I can relate to that one.
I've seen that one.
I like those. You know what? I don't like the Tide Pod meme. Those just weren't. They weren't even funny. They were never funny. What else is hot and popping right now? The Ugandan Knuckles meme was always fun. It was silly and goofy. It's been overused, I would say. Favorite meme all time? There he is. He made it. I knew he would. I knew he would make it. There he is. Oh, geez. There he is. You can't see him very well.
Hold on. Let me turn on my brightness.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Can we ask Mike Barabal to talk about New York? I actually don't. I don't see Mike Barabal anywhere. He might have vanished. He might come back in when the players come back in.
Let's interview Dwayne.
Can Justin Langwell get a shout out on Trojan Live in the morning? That I don't think is gonna happen. In our hearts, Dwayne Johnson. True. Can we scroll a little bit? Me at 3 a.m. going back to the fridge to drink more pickle juice. I can. Yeah, that is me. Oh yeah, no, the going. Me at 3:27 a.m. after eating my third jar of olives. Me at 3:28 going back for more olive. That's a good one. What do you think Kylie's baby's first words will be?
I want plastic surgery.
I want plastic surgery? I don't know. I don't even know what the name is yet. I guess it's Stormy, but also I've heard otherwise.
I'm just kidding. I have no idea. I've
yeah.
heard Stormy.
Why? That's stupid. I feel.
What if it's cloudy?
I wonder if she wanted to just name her child like something normal. Like she wanted to name it like Jessica, and then, you know, they're like, no, you got to name it Stormy, you know? All right, Griffin's back.
Yeah, can you guys got to clear out quickly here for
Kylie Jenner's
We had
baby.
what?
They asked me what my favorite
We can do. I don't know. We just do you for now. Can you press? Jamie, can you press record on there? All right, we are here with Devin Gottschall, the team captain of the Trojans. No, it was a tough loss tonight, but it was senior night, your final game here. What did that mean to you?
It meant a lot. I mean, I've dedicated a lot of time to basketball. Everyone on the team has, and it sucks that we had to drop this way, but it's been fun 4 years.
And this program, you got 8 seniors. You guys have had a lot of highs. The junior high, you went undefeated, and well, a lot of successes over, especially the last 3 years with the varsity team. How do you feel like you guys have left a legacy that can help the program going forward?
I think this program's definitely taken a better step than it was when we first arrived. I think thanks to like Coach Bears and Steve Mart, Andy Izetta for turning this program around.
Felt like team tonight and the last few games just been missing something, or something's not been there. Any idea what that is that's causing the team to struggle more so?
We just haven't been hitting shots really. That's it. We had some injuries and some illnesses and some grade problems, but other than that, we're kind of short on our bench, but it's up to us, and we weren't able to finish it out, but yeah.
Thank you, Devin.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, that was Devin Gottschall, captain of the Varsity boys basketball game. His final game here tonight on this home floor, and he's meant a lot to the program. We're going to try to grab Jack Anderson and Brendan O'Neill, who played really well tonight, in just a moment. I don't know if they want to talk about Jenner. You can.
We're back.
I don't even know if that's.
This is the content you're really here for. Actually, hold up. Hey, Michael.
Michael.
Yo, come here for a minute. Yo, you guys wanted Michael Barabalt to talk about New York. We're going to see if we can get that for you here. If we can get him over here. It's important stuff. All right, Michael, someone in the comments of the stream asked you to talk about New York. All right, we got Michael Barabalt talking about New York for you, viewer.
So who's asking about New York right here?
Who is asking about New York?
Warrior, I'm pretty sure. Or
Warrior, someone up there. Number, oh, hold on.
New York?
Wait, 1 second. Burger King foot lettuce is my favorite meme. All right.
New York? I can probably guess who that is. Probably should be studying for his Gov test.
XD McGee, tell Mike Barabalt to talk about New York.
He's probably should be studying for a Gov test because I have an idea who that is. But New York, great place. Good steak, good pizza. They got the Yankees. Yankees are good. Not much else. Snowy in the winter, hot as hell in the summer. So,
hot as heck. Michael.
my apologies for the foul language.
I said a bad word.
It's okay.
Second worst bad word when the basketball was coming at me.
It's okay.
Oh yeah, also, why is the 2 times that the ball went in this general direction and just happened to hit the camera? How does that work?
Luck of the draw.
See, that's why I said it.
It's just luck. But it happens, and now our Trojans will be fine. Tough loss. We'll get back to it, but everyone must admit we love New York. Am I right? We love New York.
Yeah.
So whoever asking about New York, if I know who you are, you should probably be studying for your Gov test tomorrow because I have to as well. So.
And what? They don't go to our school.
Who knows? But
But they probably
who knows? But we're all good. We're all good. So I think Griffin's trying to get an interview. Hopefully he does. Tough loss tonight for the Trojans. Losing on senior night, but they still got one more game. Anything can happen if they get a win. They could somehow make it into the playoffs.
What are your thoughts on Burger King foot lettuce?
I'm not a fan.
Not a fan?
No, not a fan of the Burger King foot lettuce. Any other questions? Is this like a Q&A sesh?
What will Kylie Jenner's baby's first words be?
What?
What are your thoughts on dip memes? I don't think we can talk about dip memes.
No, we should not. I see an All Rise in there. That's cool. All Rise, Aaron Judge. New York, So, all right. I got to go.
Yeah, I think you're being.
Go Trojans.
Go Trojans. That was Michael Baraball. Thank you very much. He talked about New York. He talked about Burger King foot lettuce. That was a good talk. Still waiting on Griffin. Still waiting on some more varsity boys basketball team players. Stay tuned if you want to see those interviews or listen to us talk about number 15, Burger King foot lettuce. The last thing you want on your Burger King burger is somebody's foot fungus. But as it turns out, that might be what you get. No, that's a good one. I like that one. I like that one. That's a good meme. Number 15, burger. I used to watch videos like that, actually. And yeah, the channel that like originally posted the video has like 2 million subscribers. Like, that's how many people are just into that kind of thing. The just top 15, top 10, whatever. Number 15, Burger King foot lettuce. I could be home sleeping right now, but instead I'm here. I'm here talking about Burger King foot lettuce in front of a camera, waiting for Griffin Epstein to bring a basketball player for him to interview. Then I'm gonna edit tomorrow and have a lot of fun with that.
Do you know how many times I sneezed during this stream?
I
had to like lift
13.
Up I don't know. I wasn't counting.
Oh.
That was just like a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
But I had to lift up my mic and then go off to the side. And
Do you even have a mic? Can anyone hear what you're saying?
well, like through yours. I had this.
I don't know how sensitive this mic is. Put it back on.
'cause I
Let the
can
people hear you.
I can
Oh.
hear myself.
You can hear yourself? Okay. All right. Does that mean I'm really loud? Am I really loud in your ears?
You're just no. You're just.
Number 15, Burger King foot lettuce. Oh, you unplugged it.
Griffin disconnected the share box.
Dang it. The last thing you want in your Burger King burger is somebody's foot fungus. But as it turns out, that might be what you get. It's like I can grab my water.
Okay, hold on. You could just put the mic down.
I didn't. I'm back.
Okay, I reconnected my mic. Hold on. Connect. Oh, Griffin's back.
There he is. Griffin Epstein here with Jack Anderson. Let's do this.
All right, thanks for everybody for staying here. Final interview of this Varsity Boys basketball season. Is the audio bad or something?
No, I'm just moving.
Okay. So it was senior night, obviously a very special night for you. What were the emotions going through your head, especially as you got to walk out with your family for the final time?
It was just a lot of fun to have my family come watch me play, and the student section was pretty lively, so that was fun to play in front of.
You've maybe more than anybody else on the team improved so much this year, especially offensively. We're so versatile. How are you able to get to that new offensive level?
Honestly, running hills during the fall, that probably helped me the most. Just made me a lot faster, so yeah.
How much has this team and this group of guys that you've been with that has had so much success, how much has this meant to this Petaluma High program and to you personally?
It's funny. We've been playing together since some of the guys probably like second grade. I joined the CYO team in like fourth grade, I think. So yeah, we've been hooping together since as long as I can remember. So it's pretty emotional to play this last game like that.
A lot of success, though, with this group. You guys now being CASA 3 straight years and made really Petaluma the place to be to play basketball on the west side now. How important have you guys been to really building the purple and white as the center of basketball in Petaluma?
We just worked hard, so beating CASA just worked out like that. So yeah, I don't know. Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you, Jack, so much. Okay, that was Jack Anderson, one of the 8 seniors honored tonight, and it was the leading scorer on the season for the Trojans. They do have one more, at least one more game. You can stop recording on there. At least one more game against Healdsburg, who is going to try to close out the league championship against the Trojans on Friday night. That's going to be a tough one for the Trojans, especially the way they are currently playing at the moment. even if they lose that, they still have a shot at going to the SCL tournament as a 4 seed, and probably, or actually as a 3 or a 4 seed, or could be left out depending on what happens, and then could get another shot at Healdsburg or Piner next week. And NCS playoffs probably not going to happen at this point. Trojans at 12-13 overall in the season. It's been a lot of fun to cover these group of boys on the Varsity boys basketball team. They've accomplished a lot. It's been a rough end this second half of the season, and they've truly just something's been missing, and they just haven't been able to close it out. But we want to thank all the interviews have gone. Jack, Brendan, Devin, Justin. They've been so courteous to me, and they leave a true legacy here that might not always be remembered by this tough ending that didn't reach expectations, but they accomplished something special, and I think they still know that. And it was an emotional, you should get that. It was especially an emotional night for them tonight, so want to thank them and head coach Scott Bears as well. We will be covering the Varsity boys basketball team again next year, and don't forget Varsity girls basketball live stream next Tuesday, 7 p.m. SCL tournament semifinals should be a good one. Don't want to miss that. So we continue to cover the Varsity girls basketball team and then go into spring sport. Should be a lot of fun. Thank you to Cameron Grant, Jamie Cantieri. A great job tonight. I'm Griffin Epstein. Thank you so much for tuning in. Good night, everyone.